Welcome to Tone Talks. Welcome to Tone Talks.
How's everybody doing today? This is attorney Antonio Moore coming to you from Tone Talks. I want to have a discussion today about several topics. I'm going to go through Keke Palmer and Usher. I'm going to talk about 50 Cent saying what he said about, no cash bail and his lack of expertise. I don't know if expertise. He's 10th grade dropout. He got a GED, but he's 10th grade dropout. I want to hear from him. And Uber and the realities of some of the major things going on and how you as an adult don't have time to be worrying about no Keke Palmer and no Usher when you ain't got no food in your refrigerator. Let's get to it. So, as you guys know, this Keke Palmer thing became news because what has happened to our media, especially our black media, is that they catch viral stuff that it's not even coherent. This is not coherent as a news story. This recently pregnant woman, I know she's an actress, but she's like, B-level actress in regular movies once in a while. And she goes to Usher's concert, Usher doing legacy performances in Vegas. I loved his music in 2000 and he has a great catalog, but he's not even a pop sensation. And you 52 years old watching this, instead of focusing on things that impact your family. I believe this is a major component of a craze that's left over from the Decadent Veil. But I also wanted just to use this moment to frame how you might be struggling. And you're using this as an outlet to retouch a youth that's been long gone. I need you to see how they playing you. Can I talk to you today? They got this lady out here in this outfit and it's in the news, and these young women graduated from college right at the Root or whatever, News one of these articles, Rio. You got Mark Lamont Hill covering this. It's just like, come on, man, you guys are problematic. You don't know that this is not the discussion. Well, everything is news. No, this is not a news story. Some stuff is newsworthy. This woman going to a concert and having an issue with her husband or mate, I don't know their relationship. That's not news unless your group is having significant issues understanding the calamity of their situation, particularly given the state of Black American understanding of lineage, of wealth, and the reality of a reparative justice discussion going on triggered by ADOS, American Descendant of Slavery. I need you to have this discussion today with me, 310-388-3499. I want to hear from you. Subscribe, share the channel. But we're going to have the discussion, not just in context of some kind of knick-knack discussion. You got people 50 years old on YouTube talking about this damn shit. You 15 years old, 55, whatever. Come on, man. But that's what happens when people are not very well educated. And that's why I'm going to get to the 50 Cent later. Just nonsense. But let's start off with this Keke Palmer, Usher, and they at Vegas, and you got caught up and you want to know what went down. And how about you know what went down with these unemployment numbers? They sent out a set of unemployment numbers that say that the group is collapsed. And me and Yvette Carnell of Breaking Brown have been telling you that for some years now. These are cliff-like numbers. These are numbers that you should be sitting down with your young adult children, your teenage children, should be sitting down with your husbands, with your grandmothers, discussing how did we get here. But instead of doing that, you talking about Keke Palmer being at a Usher legacy concert. Something is going on that is a sickness of sort that has you stuck in 1999 because that was your best moment. I just went through this the last show, but this is just, I don't even know what the hell y'all talking about. This woman being at this concert, this legacy performance in Vegas of some old music. I need you to talk to me today. I ain't finna get into who she should date, what she should date. All I know is she's an actress. He's a singer. We don't even have criteria levels in our society. That's why I'm gonna get the 50 Cent to put things in the right space. Like, those are not the top professions in a functional, high functioning group in a first world country. You do those jobs to make the crumbs off of the real money in architecture, design, military, production of foods. But we don't even know because that's all they gave us, and then we just stuck looking at this like it even makes sense. But let's get into what does make sense, what we should be talking about. Black workers comprise 90% of the recent unemployment spike. We're only 13 to 15% of the population. We 90% of the recent spike. A new Bureau of Labor Statistics published Friday found that Black Americans make up nearly 90% of those who are unemployed in the U.S. since April. Black workers make up 267,000 of the 300,000 new unemployment cases. I want you to go look at how many people covered that story versus how many people covered this Keke Palmer. I want you to talk to your friends or think about with your friends and whether they talked about Keke Palmer or they talked about this number saying basically that black folks are collapsed. And if they talked about Keke Palmer, maybe you got to get rid of them because y'all 40-something years old now. Your knees is creaking, your back is hurting. You ain't got no retirement, didn't save for no life insurance. How we gonna do it? Just Keke Palmer news? That's what we gonna live on? You gonna run into a situation. Follow me. I hear you. I see y'all out there. Let me tell you what you gonna run into. You gonna run into a situation where your kids outmature you. God damn it. You gonna run into a situation where your kids is watching Tone Talks, but you can't because you watching Keke Palmer. Where she was in the Straight A movie with Queen Latifah. What are we talking about? Y'all done made superstars out of normal people doing normal stuff at a normal concert because you need some news. Because it used to be concerts every weekend or every month in your city. Them concerts is over. We can't bring back 1999. Not no Keke Palmer in just pregnant in a dress getting hugged on by Usher is gonna do that for you. You can't go back to high school. You can't hide from no 90% unemployment. I'm telling you now so we can get into the discussion. Can we talk? Can I see it? It's levels. But it isn't just unemployment. We see it on the aisles of the food. We see it with inflation. Supermarket aisle where prices are still soaring. Cost increases for meat, eggs, and produce have been tamed, but inflation is running hot in grocery store inner aisles, home to packaged goods and household goods. Some people be like, we don't need that anyway. Well, you're impoverished. I'm sorry. What do you mean, Tone? How you know I'm impoverished? Because we know the numbers. The middle black family in Los Angeles has $200 liquid. In Miami, they have, I think it was $11 liquid. In Boston, it was $8 liquid. So you an inner store shopper. Now, I'm not saying that a reparative justice movement shouldn't address that. I'm saying your basket is full of ramen noodles. I'm saying your basket has frozen goods. I'm saying to you, you can't afford to be here in America and you watching Keke Palmer and Usher wondering why is her boyfriend tripping and you 47 years old and your knees hurt. I remember y'all all remember when Genuine used to perform with Twista in your city? You holding on to that and they playing you like a fiddle. 310-388-3499. Sticker shock at the grocery store. Inflation wasn't the only reason food prices increased. Last year, U.S. consumers saw the largest annual increase in food since the 80s. Last year, U.S. consumers, come on, saw the largest annual increase in food prices since the 80s. Can't get nothing now in the grocery store. This is what you talk about if you're grown, especially if you're belly hungry. But you don't do it if they made you crazy. You stuck in 1999. You don't understand wealth and don't have none. You think Keke Palmer is a superstar or a star? She's a BC level little artist lady trying to actually get you to like make you crazy. They relationship crazy. The man. Let's talk. While food prices generally increased about 2% in prior years, they increased about 11% from 2021 to 2022. And they're not even, I think, accounting for shrinkflation, where the package shrinks, but then they charge the same price. We talked about that before. Inflation contributed to the increase, but there were other factors like global disruptions to the food supply chain that may have had a greater impact. And not everyone felt this increase the same way. You felt it. That's why you're not eating the same. But that's why you're watching this, because you rather talk about this than your politics. You rather talk about this when you had all the potential in the world in 99 and you was going to be Beyonce in the mirror. You was 27 years old doing Beyonce songs in the mirror. It's too late. Now you 47 and you got to hook it to something. So you're going to talk about Keke Palmer and her boyfriend. This is not news. I'm sorry. I don't know what it is, but it points to collapse. So if you combine the Keke Palmer story with the 90% of the unemployed, what you have is a group that is both crazed and collapsing. May you have a successful family inside of that. Keke Palmer's boyfriend faces backlash for shaming her sheer dress at an Usher concert. Huh. Okay. NBC News. You got the, I think that's the New York Post, page 6. They got her in this dress. A lot of y'all watch this and impress your own relationship. If that was my boyfriend, if Usher had hugged me, and that's the whole game. So they got you thinking about what ifs when you got realities in your refrigerator. I know it's the middle of the day, so people are at work. Might be hard to call. This is my family and my representation. I have standards and morals to what I believe. You married an actress, lady. Now, that don't justify whatever's going on. This is seen normal. This is your choice, man. I don't want to hear about it in public. We got real stuff to deal with. And that's why I wanted to start the show. It's like we got real stuff to deal with. Stop calling real stuff negative because you ain't got no savings and you done married and had the kid or two. I went to Popeyes and the 2-piece meal was $14, I think, with tax. They wanted $50 for, I think, 20 pieces of tenders, 15 tenders or something in a meal, $50. Y'all better wake up, bro. They're not playing with you. Black workers comprise 90% of recent unemployment spike, data shows. We just went through that, but it's not enough just to read the article. We need to understand, wait, what is this saying? We can all post the article. The question becomes, where did this come from? It came from the Bureau of Labor. So I went and pulled the actual Bureau of Labor because I'm trying to see what is this saying about Black folks. Now, this is just me doing a cursory review, but I'm looking at the civilian labor force, and these are the months. I'm sorry for cutting that part off, but these are the months. And when you look back, we were at 22.1. So this is June, May, April, March. I think this is March. So when you look back at the end of March, we was at 22.1. This is in the thousands. Now we're all the way down to 21.6. And this is in the thousands. So that's 21 million, I believe. Huh. We lost all them jobs from 22,152,000 employed to 21,695, 21,695,000, about 21.7. But when you look down here, you can now do something you normally can't do because we inside the numbers. But when you're 90% of the unemployed, we can kind of extrapolate. We are these people. So when you look at why people lost their unemployment, here you can see the months, like I said before, June, May, April, March. We went from 29.4 in temporary job to 29. So we went from 2.9 to 2.95 to 2.9 temporary. Wait. We see that these temporary jobs might be how Black people are employed. How many of y'all out there doing seasonal work? Packing boxes for Amazon just for the month? How many of y'all are out there Uber driving and Amazon driving? How many of y'all building families on top of that instability? The amount of loss of job in this temporary space and how it in an outsized way impacted Black folks. Black folks who don't have no savings, who won't get no inheritance, should have you guys doing much more than watching Keke Palmer and Usher. You can go to the article. This is on the Hill. Click the report and parse the report yourself. But we see a lot of this is temporary jobs lost. So we in the temporary workforce. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Tony. Hey, Jay from North Carolina.
Give me your take on it, man. I'm about to get right into Uber, Obama, Jay-Z, and many others. But I'm looking at this and I'm trying to understand Keke Palmer. Tell me your thoughts. Why was this news?
I think it's just craze and distraction. The numbers on our jobs, I think directly what you're pointing out and what the labor report points out also kind of ties into how you pointed out by 2028, AI replacing a lot of the jobs. And we're just seeing that ADOS being at the bottom, that becomes us area. They have infrastructure projects going on everywhere. I don't see ADOS on those jobs at all. I mean, big, vast construction contracts. And I may see one or two out of passing hundreds of construction workers all up and down the coast here as they're working. We're just shut out.
So let's get back to this. So we all the unemployed, and then we're using our free time from being unemployed to watch Keke Palmer and Usher at a legacy concert. I'm trying to understand. Is this even news, caller, to you?
Not at all. It doesn't put food on the plate, and honestly, it's infuriating at this point. With as much that's known about ADOS, with as much as I see here in my local community, us not having, how this even gets enough spin to be relevant in our community or any community makes no sense.
Yeah, I want you guys to go look up how many people seriously covered, and then you can even check shares on Twitter, this cataclysmic number that came out about Black workers versus how many people covered and shared around Keke Palmer and Usher, and you'll see a group who's crazed. So they don't really understand time, they don't understand importance, and they're old, bro. You out here old as fuck, out here sharing this stuff. When I say old, I mean like 45, 46. All that's supposed to matter to you is this second part. But all that actually matters to you is this, because it makes you feel young again. It's just the craziest moment. Colin, any last thing you want to say to the audience?
I think we just need to get rid of the sensationalism and calling out amongst each other as we see it on our profiles. Because you're right, the labor statistics should be shared more. That's what we're dealing with. That's what's got to make an impact. As always, love your show. Keep your foot on the gas.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for calling. 310-388-3499. I know it's the middle of the workday, but we have to go back to Uber and the gigification of work and how Barack Obama, the Barack Obama you loved and voted for and made you feel like you arrived, the one that's Kenyan and white, isn't ADOS, and inherited $500,000 from his grandma, which is like a white inheritance in America. We know the numbers for those people that are coming new and like, how do you know that? We're not gonna get into that. We've talked about it. Watch the old shows. Without Barack Obama, there is no gig jobs. There are no. I don't think you guys understand. He gave your child a jobless America. Barack Obama, his labor secretary, Tom Perez. I'll show you in a second. The fact that Uber launched 1 month after Barack Obama was sworn into office, and that Jay-Z and Beyonce, among others, were invited to invest early so they could be used to normalize it to Black folks and others, are the cost of praising what I call the decadent veil, which is Black celebrity is just a cover. That's their main job. So when you look at this stuff, what I'm saying to you is this is the decadent veil. This is a cover for your total collapse. They can't have you in the streets. They can't have you like standing up and speaking for yourself in politics. Reparations came out of ADOS having people go after, non-violently, respectfully, but go after as citizens, their Congress members. You can go watch my last show on my YouTube. On my Twitter, I've shared it. They were demanding of Clyburn, of Kamala, reparations. Nobody else did that. ADOS did that. And what I'm saying is you should be doing the same thing about your unemployment, because there's no way that a group that was enslaved here that built America should be 90% unemployed now. Now, this also includes black immigrants, but they don't break down. That's why we need the census numbers. We'll talk about that later in the show to disaggregate, because it might be 95 or 97% of ADOS. Talk about it. You have to go back. I mean, you don't have to take my word. You can look. Presidential inauguration of Barack Obama. Thank you so much for the support. Can we talk? Presidential inauguration of Obama. It happens January 09. Uber is launched, founded March 09. It's crazy how people who have children that are economically collapsed driving Uber after college or doing gig jobs don't draw a direct line to Barack Obama. Uber is literally founded 2 months after he is sworn into office. It was his labor department. I want to talk about it because, caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Tom, this is Troy from Dallas. How you doing today, sir?
I'm all right. Let me finish this thought, and I'm gonna come bring you right in, and you can talk. I want you to talk, tie it all together. But you have to understand that Uber is nothing more. It is not a driving service. It is a shirking of labor laws and a transfer of risk. What do I mean? They transfer to you the risk of a crash, of being shot, of somebody stealing your car. They even got it so bad where they got Uber Connect. And what was happening late 2022 is that people were giving, because it was a package service, Uber Connect. Uber Connect is an easy, same day, no contact delivery solution that allows people to send items, whether it's a care package for a loved one, Some Uber drivers are voicing concerns that they may be used as unwitting drug mules. So they give you the package, they say, start taking pictures of your car, this person sending drugs across the city, and you done made $4 for it, huh? And the person that sold it to you, the people that sold it to you, is your heroes, your decadent veil, Beyonce and Jay-Z. Just awful. But someone poor beyond poor will read this and praise it through a view of their own super capitalists. What will they read, Tone? Beyonce, Jay-Z, and more. Reportedly, Beyonce, Jay-Z, Ashton Kutcher, and more reportedly set to make a killing. They're supposed to make hundreds of millions of dollars. But they are making hundreds of millions of dollars to normalize and get you to drive Uber. What you think about everything? We can go all the way back to Keke Palmer if you like and come all the way through.
Well, I wanted to share my personal experience with Uber delivery drivers.
Come on.
I have an office, and I often order food and groceries here. Can you hear me clearly?
We all hear you clearly. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I want to say I order, lunch for my people and groceries here often. And majority of the people that deliver the food, they don't even speak English anymore. I'll get instructions that my delivery driver is here, and it's completely in Spanish. And the app doesn't even translate it for me. Uber Eats will say, "Hey, do you want to translate this to English so I can understand it?" I'm like,
I think that's highly regionalized. Because over here, you could be in a white area like, say, the West Side where Culver City is, ain't nothing but young black kids dropping off the stuff. I seen an old black man dropping off Grubhub that should have been retired just yesterday. And I'm just telling you, it's crazy the way that this cuts the bottom out and how we haven't done any politics and we don't understand. Your children are going to be permanent temporary workers that aren't even workers. They're just exploited tools. And I don't know how you're watching Keke Palmer when you need to be talking about that with 18-year-old kids.
Well, I wanted to say that in my area, I'm in like the downtown Dallas area. So I will say in this area, which is one of the bigger markets that they were testing out the Uber and the Amazon delivery service first, because of the density of the suburbs and the people living in the city out here. I would think that it would make a good sample set for other regions. And I have seen, but what I will say to stick to my point is that when I do see the other foreigners coming in working with the Uber drives and the delivery services, they're coming in as groups, and I've seen people that have been Venezuelan doing Uber and Uber Eats delivery, and they are able to come to the country without enough money to buy a car and a place to stay, but somehow, there's somebody that sponsored them to come over here that made it easy for them to get to a vehicle. So it's like that low on the rung of the economic ladder that they're making that for newly minted Americans. That's not even something that disenfranchised, ADOS person. That's not even going to be an opportunity available for you.
Oh, no, because you got expectations. You think you got
No.
expectations. You want an apartment. You ain't trying to stack up 9 to an apartment. Let me ask you something else. What do you think about this Keke Palmer being news? Because I don't understand why it's not newsworthy in my view. But what do you think about it being news and everything? Give me your take.
I mean, that's just the washed up news for the black segment. You got the same celebrities from, like you say, 20 years ago. I mean, I had one of the first Usher albums on tape back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
My sister was dating a guy that was A&R, and I got the snippet on the tape.
That shit was on A-Track. That shit was on A-Track. Go ahead. He had that shit on record. Go ahead. Y'all remember when Usher had a little afro? No, go back before My Way when he was little, when he had the little afro. Come on, man. Usher been singing like since, you remember that?
Yeah.
94 or something.
Yeah,
93?
that was way before. Yeah, that was way before. Exactly.
Y'all.
I mean, they was all with the little bebop magazines and all the teenies, So it's like his whole life he's been casted from the top. He's a little kid in these magazines to be a sensation for you, a distraction for you at every age. He's a heartthrob when he's a 12-year-old, all the way. So it's like for all these women, and I see a lot of women on my timeline that are professionals. You always see them going out to Vegas for these shows where they got the residency at. Like you say, they got that's a legacy market.
Yeah, it's a legacy market. And let me say something else. Y'all don't got to believe me. Usher got a video with Diddy that's 30 years old. You can go find it. He got a video that's 30 years old. It was done like in 94. You can go find it. It's when he was little. 30 years old. And people be like, well, he's still a star. Yeah, in a grown way, like the OJs was in the late 90s. Like not in this pop sensational way. But this points to a lack of ability to grow up. Your kids are gonna outmature you because their lives not good. They finna be frustrated with you because you still young and playing around and you ain't got no retirement. And you gonna wonder why they so serious because they understand how to grow up. They took that out of your middle.
You hit something.
Go ahead.
You hit a nail on the head right there. Because I see a lot of people are complaining about their children are serious. Because it's like the older generation is still caught up into that level of entertainment. And then you got the younger kids that's on TikTok looking at conspiracy theories and economics and getting
and tone talks. Let me tell you something else. Your
clips are out there. So young people are able to decipher the message. And it's like, dang, man, I figured something out at 15 that my parents at 40 are still going to clubs and dressing up and strolling and strutting and stuff, And I've moved past that with a few years of access to the internet, especially the kids that were on the internet during the pandemic. Yeah, they had nothing but time to learn.
Yeah, look. This picture. Let me say this. This picture is like 80 years of life. Them two, when you add that up, that's about 85 years worth of life up there. And I'm just saying, what are we talking about? Why can't we let go? And I believe it's because we don't want to confront the situation. Caller, I'm gonna let you go. Thank you so much for calling in this middle of the day. When we look at it again, the gig economy comes about because they put Obama there to make it happen. That's his main legacy. Whether they confront us with it, it was a gutting of labor laws. It happens a month after and that's why your kids is driving these things, because without that, then you got to confront jobs, make new jobs and everything, real jobs where people get retirements and pensions and good pay. You got these two people selling it to us because they invested, and you got somebody poor, lowly educated. I'm not talking about no high school graduate. I'm talking about 10th grade dropout that's watching these two people and anchoring themselves. Someone beyond poor will read this and praise it through a view of their own super capitalist potential. I mean, he dropped out and sold drugs, so I can. That's the kind. That's how they get you to accept it. I'm going to get to 50 in a second. But before I get to 50, I want to talk about blackness. Because what's happened now is that you guys have anchored yourself in an invisibleness that is really comfortable, because as long as you're invisible, you ain't got no responsibilities. You can be this, watching this, and I believe they tied together. You had this Glenn Martin share this, and it said, which do you prefer? Person of color, black, African American, BIPOC. Look, the Office of Management Budget controls the census. There's been an ongoing discussion for 6 months over classifications. Ain't no poll on Twitter how you do this. You're fucking old. You're grown. Come on. There's been a long discussion, and one of the things we're trying to do is get ADOS on there. But it isn't about you and you. I don't want to be called a slave. It's about a distinctive category so that we can get data that shows this might be 98% ADOS people. And also shows we're not one flat black group, because black is basically a self-identified category. What do I mean? You choose to write black down. There's no baseline criteria to what makes you black. That means that it's a non-existent classification. So you've been labeling yourself something that does not exist. In a sense, making yourself groupless. Let me read. American Descent of Slavery, hashtag ADOS is the choice. This is the New York Times. This is the ABC News. They've already covered it. And a lot of people are like, oh, I never heard of that. Well, that's because you be watching this instead of like what's going on. You be keeping up with this. So the census and New York Times is covering, and you don't know that it's going on. So the answers people were saying, some people were saying ADOS, shout out to JP here, but I am black. Black, unapologetically black. Black, you black. But they never say what that means. Many people in this thread are struggling with the serious markers of a group identity. As pointed out in the recent Supreme Court decision, black is a category you self-identify, and it has no legal baseline measurement of any lineal criteria for inclusion, creating significant categorical problems in using it as a classification. So you all are typing black, come on, to avoid responsibility. You might not know it. You've been living your whole life irresponsible. You've been living your whole life thinking that this is good and this is news. Yeah, Obama and Michelle and ooh, they make money from Uber. You've been living your life that way. So you all are typing black, but really just saying you don't have an identity in reverse from a classification standpoint, because it's self-identified. It's not tied to any kind of measurement. And creating a flatness anchoring between a population that built America as slaves hundreds of years ago, 400s of years, and others that largely arrived post-1980, after civil rights, 15 years after civil rights. Flat blackness worked in America before the mass immigration boom, post-civil rights, because it meant ADOS. It no longer specifies anything clearly enough to be an identifier. So everybody here is just saying, I'm invisible. They don't know it. You can look right here. You can read the book by Todd Hamilton about the remaking of Black America, and it shows the numbers right here. You can look Caribbeans. They don't come to like after 1980 in any number. You can look all immigrants is here, but the Africans don't come to like 90s. So you and somebody that came in 91, their family came are the same. It's hard to teach people this. Black America was similarly transformed before 1965. Black people of foreign birth residing in the United States were nearly invisible. Smithsonian Magazine. According to a census, 1966 census, their percentage of the population was to the right of the decimal. Not sure people in this thread understand there have been major meetings on classification with the census this year that are now closed. Posting it here as a tweet and talking about do a poll isn't really how to seriously push the dial. Yeah, that's like something that you do in high school. This is a high school post. You 49 years old or 46 or whatever, you grown man. Come on, man. I'm gonna put in my testimony right here in the final version.
This is Attorney Antonio Moore calling as a person that testified as one of the lead experts on AB 3121, currently the California Reparations Task Force Bill, and also one of the creators of the ADOS terminology. Essentially, ADOS, American Descendants of Slavery, explicitly spells out a terminology that allows people to finally be able to recognize differentiation between Black people that were descendants of slavery here in America and the newly immigrated Black population. I recommend that the group that is deciding this read the book by Todd Hamilton, Immigration and the Remaking of Black America. In that book, you get a better grasp on the amount of black population that came post, say, 1975, and the black population that was here prior. Many of us believe we understand, but until you start reading those census data numbers, you really do not. In addition, in 2016, Color of Wealth report came out that specifically showed us the consequence of not understanding the impact of not having an ADOS category. In that report, they looked at about 4 or 5 cities, specifically looking at Los Angeles. What we saw is that the African black had $152,000 hard while having $60,000 liquid. But when we in contrast that and looked at the U.S. black, they had a mere $30,000 hard and $200 liquid. What we're having now is there's been an entire erasure of a population by the fact that we have not created the category American descendants of slavery. In addition, I think that you cannot do the MENA category or Proposal 2 without addressing American descendants of slavery category 4. I think that what you'll end up having is a conflict where people may fit into 2 categories at once. I just wanted to also note that American descendants of slavery also uniformly fits with what the current census is using for American Indians, where you have American place first, and then you have a terminology after. It is important to have uniformity because people beyond just the black population will look to that term to define the group as well. I just wanted to lay those specifics out, and that's my time.
Version with the U.S. Census on why ADOS should be a category. It's time to level up. Y'all keep following what you want to follow, or you can follow that truth. So I want to get into 50. I want to get into 50. Can I talk about it? Can I talk about 50? Because y'all little hero. His kid, and he only a strange kid and this and that, and he your hero. Making it so 50 Cent says Los Angeles is finished by the no bail policy. Watch how bad it gets out there. This is classic racist attack on particularly black folks language. There's no way that a person that went to jail that dropped out in 10th grade, who made his money selling y'all who struggle this little music, should be allowed to say that and still get your support. But you don't know because you don't have no group identity and you're watching Keke Palmer. Making it clear, 50 Cent voted for real Donald Trump and dropped out of high school in 10th grade. He said he voted. He's going to vote for Trump, if y'all don't remember. He isn't a source for deep insight on criminal justice. He is not a source for deep insight on criminal justice. 50 Cent says Los Angeles finished by no bail policy. What expertise does he have if he dropped out of 10th grade? 50 Cent 50 was expelled from school in the 10th grade for possession of crack. Oh my God. Can we talk? I want to talk about it. I'm trying to slow it down because I'm leaving it on screen. 50 Cent was expelled from school in the 10th grade for possession of crack, but later earned his GED while in prison. Now, people can say elitist. No, but when 50, hold on, because I'm about to get into where I was at in 10th grade. This is the LA Times Court of Fast Resort. This is me as defense attorney for the OJ case in a courtroom in my high school. So y'all gonna say that it's elitist to talk about, so we can let this 10th grade dropout do this and then make fun of other artists because they didn't sell no music and be next to his plaques. That's not elitist. We can let this old has-been artist talk about whether people should get out of jail with no expertise because he got out of jail and no expertise because he dropped out in 10th grade. But I can't bring up that law degree. Black folks really allow media to flatten everything. This is 10th grade in the LA Times. Talking about this here, this New York Court of Fast Resort. This is the same grade 50 dropped out. But media made 50 Cent our voice on criminal justice. What he is saying is no different than Biden's lock them up. Predators on our street. Somebody said, it sounds like hate, bro. He wasn't ready for my response. The whole article that 50 posted is hate. it's gonna be basically they animals. It's gonna get so bad because if the animals ain't locked up. What about you, 50? The destruction you wrought on this community, all the infighting and rap. The whole article is hate. It is racially charged. Throw them in jail, hate. Because if you let them out, they will wreak havoc. Many of you really struggle with the conversation because you get lost on topics. We are talking about the above article, not your love for hip hop. This statement above isn't far off Biden's lock them up comments years ago. But you need your decadent veil bootstrap hero for your own daily motivation. I do not. I want to talk today. I wanted to talk because when we look at the data, and I'm going to come to you 215 in a second, what we know is that we can look at pieces like this one out of the LA Times. Op-ed, LA's zero bail policy doesn't increase crime, but does reduce the devastating consequences of incarceration. Can we talk? Can we get to it? But 50 said, with all of his 10th grade knowledge, that it's going to get bad out there. We finish. Y'all going to learn. I want to talk. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, how you doing, Tone? What's going on?
Give me your take on it. You can talk about Keke Palmer, 50 Cent, Jay-Z, any of this.
All right, well, I think that this is a perfect illustration on how celebrities make statements when they don't really know what they're talking about. No cash bail system isn't a system in where anybody can get out of jail.
Wait.
Without paying bail.
Can I say something? Let's slow that down. On Friday, I will go to court with 2 clients that are out on their own recognizant as a defense attorney. I don't know what the fuck a 10th grader gonna do on Friday. But he's successful, Tone. He's successful. What he need to do is call his son and make that relationship work. What he need to do is grow up. Go ahead, caller.
All right, so I was actually arrested 2 years ago in New Jersey, which has a no cash bail system. All right, so I was able to get out because they look people out based on like a point or like an algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that if you have a history of committing crimes and you're arrested for stealing a candy bar, you're not going to get out. Now, if you steal the candy bar, you have no history, you'll be able to get out. So no cash bail isn't like, oh, well, you get arrested for a crime, you automatically get out of jail. You have to meet certain criteria to get out. So having a no cash bail is like, it's not something where people, it's not a system that criminals can take advantage of.
I agree. And somebody said, look at his point. You look at his point. Get the fuck out of here. I ain't looking at that shit. You go fucking talk to that guy. Like some of us just gotta let these people out of our Thanksgivings. Because when you tell me I gotta look at somebody who's a far right wing rap seller that dropped out. Understand, he's a far right wing rap seller that dropped out in 10th grade. You want me to fucking slow down and listen to him. You go listen to him. That's fucking crazy.
Well, he doesn't know what no cash bail means.
He might not know how to read. He might not know how to read well. No, you don't have to go there. No, slow down. I want you to understand. We're talking about 10th grade. I think Black America refuses to look in the mirror. We're not talking about a few years of college. We're talking about dropping out of a New York high school in the 90s in 10th grade. I think there is a refusal to understand how clear that tells you. I don't want to hear from you about no cash bail. Now people be like, well, what if he was a bus? He's not a bus driver. He's a guy that then made some music where y'all just fight over the music. I need us to get honest that this man, then y'all be like he's elitist. Well, all he do is elitism. Well, when he do elitism, it's different, Tom. What is this but elitism? So you got an elite 10th grade dropout? Y'all ain't nothing but Keke Palmer fans watching an old Usher concert. I'm just bringing it to you because, like, I get what you're saying. I don't want to go there, but what I'm saying to you is 10th grade dropout is that's very early in school, and to be talking about. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'll let you close out.
Well, especially in the New York or any urban public school system, 10th grade is really early because most school systems in those neighborhoods are not performing at grade level. So a 10th grade dropout in a ADOS public school system is really like maybe a 6th, 7th grade dropout in
we don't know what his comprehension level is or anything else. We know that he doesn't understand cash bail, and we know that he's far right wing. So y'all figure out where you want to fit with a far right wing. This isn't even a hard liberal where, man, this don't make no sense, the backward living. Give me your take on Keke Palmer. I'm gonna let you end out on that.
Well, again, man, I don't think that's newsworthy. I don't think even what she did is like.
It's like what
considered uncommon.
Yeah.
I don't think it's uncommon for somebody to go to a concert and fawn over the person who they paid to see in the concert.
If you walk over, and let me say, she's also an actress. She married an actress. They like audition all the time. They're trying to be relevant for their music. Don't marry an actress. I don't know, man. Get out of our story.
I'm sorry. Let me say one thing, man, that you point out to that's funny. That I found funny. But yeah, Usher came out my senior year in high school. So yeah, he is like this is something that you pointed out previously. Like some of these artists, and they might look young for their age, they might still have that youthful appearance. But yeah, they like the OJs in the '90s. Like these guys is old to be out here performing.
No, and let me say this. To be fair, Usher is a genuine talent. I consider him a star. I don't know if he's a Michael Jackson superstar, but what I am going to say is that the reaction you're supposed to have is a mature reaction. What you guys are having is a Teen Giddy, Teen Vogue, BET 106 in Park reliving moment through this, which is showing a sign of craze to me. And that's all. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I don't think he deserves to be elevated to the platform that he's at this point in his career. I think he's past that, man. He's like, again, like you said, that's like Morris Day, or like, you know what I'm saying? That's wild, man. So somebody would be making still.
Well, but you gotta understand,
that's been out for 30 years.
But you gotta understand what my argument is you're not looking at Usher anymore. You're looking at black craze because they don't have no other celebrity to hook it to. So they gonna find something and they gonna make it like news, and they playing on the fact that you guys need celebrity because you don't have no jobs, you don't have no food, you're really struggling. People be like, you're saying black people are struggling. Well, you tell the unemployment people something different. Caller, I'm gonna let you go as we close out the show. Thank you so much for calling. I just wanted to have a discussion about Keke Palmer and Usher and the real things we should be talking about identity, about 50 Cent, about a lot of things. And I think we got through that. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. This is Tone Talks. Please go to tonetalks.net, subscribe, donate, and share. We out.